Today our webinar is Turn Down the Pressure. February is Heart Health Month, so we will be talking about blood pressure. What is blood pressure? It's the force of blood against the walls of the arteries. Arteries are the blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart to all parts of the body. So what is high blood pressure? When your blood pressure stays elevated over an extended period of time, it's called hypertension. High blood pressure places extra strain on your heart, causing injury to the inner lining of the heart. It's referred to as the silent killer because it doesn't have any symptoms. 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure, and a third of them don't even know they have it. The only way to tell whether someone has high blood pressure is to get it checked regularly by your physician. So what do those numbers mean? Blood pressure is created by the heart as it pushes blood into the arteries and throughout the circulatory system. The systolic pressure is the top greater number. It's generated by the contraction of the heart or the force of the blood when the heart beats. The diastolic pressure is the bottom smaller number. It's the pressure while the heart is filling and resting in between heartbeats. The lower the number, the greater the rest the heart gets between beats. Your heart will beat over your entire lifetime. So the longer the rest your heart gets between beats, and the less it has to work when it does beat, is going to make it last a long time. So it's important to keep these numbers low and in a healthy range. Here we have the guide to blood pressure readings. So we can see that a normal range would be a reading of less than 120 and less than 180. Pre-hypertension would be a reading of a systolic number between 120 and 139, or a diastolic reading of 80 to 89. Stage 1 hypertension would be a systolic blood pressure of 140 to 159, or a diastolic reading of 90 to 99. And then stage 2 hypertension would be 160 or higher for your systolic number, and 100 or higher for your diastolic number. If just one of your numbers is out of range and the other one is normal, you still have hypertension. So aside from the doctor's office, you can get your blood pressure checked at your local pharmacy or grocery store, where they have the machines, at a company-sponsored biometric screening, or if you already have high blood pressure, it may have been suggested that you buy a home blood pressure monitor, but don't use this as a substitute for going to your doctor. If your blood pressure is over 120/80, have a conversation with your physician about hypertension. And as a reminder, if you do check your own blood pressure, make sure you sit down and rest for a minute before getting the reading to make sure it's accurate. Why does high blood pressure matter? This picture shows the comparison of a normal heart versus the hypertensive heart. It shows the thickening of the inner walls of the heart. High blood pressure makes the heart work harder than normal, causes it to grow abnormally large, and puts the heart and arteries under a lot of strain. High blood pressure increases your risk for the following: heart attack, congestive heart failure, stroke, kidney disease, dementia, and blindness. 1.5 million Americans suffer a heart attack every year, and about 500,000 Americans die of a heart attack annually. What are the risk factors for hypertension? There are some risk factors we can't do anything about: our age, our gender, ethnicity, and genetics. As we age, blood pressure will naturally increase. After about age 50, women will tend to have a higher blood pressure than men. Certain ethnic groups have a predisposition to hypertension, and genetics. Some people can do all the right things and still have high blood pressure. We can't do anything about these risk factors. However, there are a lot of ways we can control our risk. Take a look at the list and think about which of these modifiable risk factors you feel you can work on. Here we have being overweight or obese, high sodium intake in your diet, using tobacco products, inactivity, not getting enough exercise, and handling stress poorly. Working with your personal physician regarding the uncontrollable risk factors while you work on the controllable risk factors, can significantly lower your health risks for hypertension. So let's talk about the controllable risk factors. Hypertension is the leading cause of preventable death in the U.S. We've talked about how there are some things we can't control, but it is considered preventable because there are so many things we can control. The first one is your weight. Maintaining a healthy body weight will lower your risk for developing hypertension. Increased body weight will increase the pressure on your blood vessels, and studies have found that losing just 10% of your body weight will reduce the workload on your heart and reduce your risk for hypertension and disease. Another controllable risk factor is our diet. Follow a healthy diet. Over the past couple decades, our diet has changed from whole foods and raw fruits and vegetables to more processed foods, which contain high levels of sodium and fat. Research has found that foods containing potassium, calcium, magnesium, and fiber help reduce blood pressure, so the DASH diet was developed. DASH stands for Dietary Approaches to Stopping Hypertension. DASH diet emphasizes low sodium and low fat, high intake of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and low fat or non-fat dairy, high fiber, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. You'll notice the DASH diet puts a big emphasis on fruits and veggies and whole grains. Those are the sources of fiber, potassium, magnesium DASH diet's looking for, and then the low-fat dairy and dark leafy greens for the calcium. Those minerals are important for water balance and cardiac muscle contraction. Notice the recommendation in the DASH diet says 8 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. Most Americans only get 2. So you can learn more about the DASH diet on dashdiet.org. Controllable risk factor, our sodium intake. Most of the sodium we get from our diet is from processed foods, not from what we sprinkle on top of our food. So it's best to switch to whole foods to reduce sodium. The American Heart Association recommends consuming no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day. Now, I'm sure we all have a salt shaker on our kitchen or dining room tables. How many of you reach for that shaker before you even taste your food? So instead of reaching for the salt, try other ways to season and add more flavor to your food. Switch out the salt shaker for an herb blend. You can use things like herbs, wine, lemon or lime, or hot peppers to flavor your food while you cook instead of the salt. You can buy a no-sodium seasoning blend at the grocery store or use what you already have in your cabinet. If you want to try the salt substitute, it's a potassium chloride. Just talk to your doctor first because they can be dangerous if you're on certain medications. But the no-sodium herb blends are a safe and healthy way to flavor your food. Another controllable risk factor, your tobacco use. Tobacco products raise blood pressure by increasing the hardening of artery walls, making them less elastic, and increasing plaque buildup on artery walls, making them more narrow. Smoking is also the #1 cause of preventable death in the United States. So if you're interested in smoking cessation, there are cessation programs available to you through your health benefits, and Pinnacle Health has resources as well. You can stop by one of our activity tables or come to a lunch and learn to get the tobacco cessation information. Controllable risk factor, exercise. So be physically active. A stronger heart pumps blood with less effort. Physical activity can help you maintain a healthy weight as well. So some ideas to increase your activity. Park further away. Don't look for that spot closest to the door. Park at the end of the parking lot. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Go for a walk on your lunch or on breaks. And take daily walks with your family or your dog. Remember, we don't want our hearts to have to work too hard, so keep it conditioned and strong with regular exercise. Studies have found that a moderate program of aerobic exercise, 30 to 45 minutes daily, can reduce your systolic or diastolic blood pressure by a drop of 10 points. That's about the same reduction you can expect with a lot of blood pressure medications. So find simple ways to incorporate activity into your daily routine. Small changes can lead to big success. And remember, exercise doesn't have to be hard or complicated. Walking is a great exercise for health benefits and to help maintain your weight. All you need is a pair of tennis shoes and a safe place to walk. You can even get your friends to walk with you for the added social benefit. And here we have manage your stress as a controllable risk factor. Everyone experiences stress. We can't escape it. When you experience stress or are in a stressful situation, your body produces a surge of hormones. These hormones temporarily increase your blood pressure by causing your heart to beat faster and your blood vessels to narrow. Over time, these short-term spikes in blood pressure add up, and they may put you at risk for developing long-term high blood pressure. So it's important that we find positive ways to handle our stress with things like exercise, yoga, meditation, hobbies or interests, or seeking help when we need to. Make sure you aren't using negative ways to manage your stress. For example, when a smoker lights up, their systolic pressure goes up 20 points on average. Higher levels of alcohol consumption can also increase blood pressure. If you react to stress in these negative ways, not only does your risk of high blood pressure increase, but also your risk of heart attack and stroke. So through some lifestyle modifications, you can definitely work toward maintaining a healthy blood pressure. Stress, exercise, tobacco, dietary sodium, the DASH diet, and maintaining a healthy weight are all modifiable factors that you can change to decrease your risk of high blood pressure or to reduce high blood pressure if you already have it. So that does conclude our webinar today. Thank you for joining us. If you have questions or would like a copy of the slides, please email me at sfagan@activehealth.net and have a great rest of your day.